Hello beer tubers and welcome to yet another Alco review with me, Peter, the master of Hoppets. Maybe I should call you Alco tubers by now instead of beer tubers, or at least in these reviews, because I've been reviewing a lot of alcoholic beverages lately that isn't beer, mainly because I've had the opportunity to try quite a few very interesting ones that I thought deserved reviews, and instead of saving up a big back catalog, I thought just post them, and then there'll just be a big dry spot maybe, who knows. Because it's cool to keep it a little bit different once in a while, not just beer, because there is plenty of beer reviews on the channel, but it's still the main focus, of course. So today, guys, we're going to be looking at a classic Islay whiskey, one I got for my birthday, and actually the first ever Islay whiskey and peated whiskey I had, and this is none other than the Laphroaig 10-year-old peated whiskey. It's been aged in bourbon barrels. One thing I've never noticed all the times I've had this is that it says color adjusted with caramel. So it's a 40% Islay whiskey, and this is basically, I guess you'd say one of their most popular whiskeys. It's one of the most peat forward whiskeys they do, and one of those like big peat monsters. And like, I remember the first time I had this bad boy, I was so scared away from peated whiskey because it is really a smack in your face. But it is really good stuff. But again, not for the faint of heart, and definitely something you have to build up a tolerance or a palate for. Kind of like with craft beer. So it's color-wise kind of light. I mean, it's a golden yellow color. And this is also a Scotch that a lot of people like to drink water in, or have some water in, because it's just such a big peat monster. But let's check out the aroma on Laphroaig 10-year-old Scotch whiskey, or Islay whiskey, single malt too. Wow, I mean, it's just a smack in the face of seaside, minerally, peaty, smoky aromas. There's definitely also like a meaty smoke to it because it has a savoriness to it, but that might also be like that salty seaside thing, and you're not getting too many underlying complexities, but I guess that's what Laphroaig 10 is known for. It's known for being one of these big smack-in-the-face peat monsters, but let's give it a taste. Cheers. That is so huge and harsh. Like, it's one of those whiskeys, and I'm like on the aftertaste right now, I'm just left with this intense, it's kind of like fun because the peat comes in just right in your face, like poof, what's up motherfucker, and then it dials down and you get more of these minerally seaside umami flavors, a little bit of seaweed, and then it goes back into this kind of intense peaty, almost meaty smoke. But it is such a smack in your face. This is definitely something that you might would want to add a little bit of water to because of the intense peat flavor, because the peat flavor kind of hides some of the other flavors in the whiskey. So I just added 1.5 teaspoons of water in it, and I can tell you guys the difference is insane. It's more palatable and easier to drink because it's not such an onrush of intense flavors. I do like that. I mean, if you take a dram of this, just one sip, I don't mind that, even though it's such a big smack in your face. I mean, it's the Port Charlotte whiskeys I've had are even bigger smack in the face. I think still the biggest is Octomore by Islay as well, but that's really good too. But this is, yeah, it's much more gingery and orangey on the aroma now. Not as big on the peat, and there's still definitely like a seaweed thing, and that kind of almost minerally thing is more dominant too. It's not as umami forward. Let's try it with some water in it. Much more palatable. It's not that, almost like, whoa, what the hell? That's like a punch in the face. It's much more easygoing. Lots of ginger and orange on it. And definitely still a good kick of peat. The peat is more on the aftertaste though, with a little bit of water in it. And then like that huge, like intense aftertaste of that peat. Nice warming sensation as well. But as I said, more orangey, more woodsy. I'm like bark cork and kind of like burnt woodiness with those kind of seaside umami-esque flavors, minerally, but more, as I said, ginger, orange, peely, kind of. It feels a little more bright when you put some water in it, but it's such a great whiskey. First peated whiskey I ever had, or Islay whiskey, and it's really good. It does the job. Oh, a lot of mineral on that, like almost charcoal or something like that, like a charcoal ish flavor. But it's pretty good. It's good stuff. I think I enjoyed some of the Islay whiskeys more. They seem a little more complex. This is more one of those whiskeys you should try if you want to try and get that big, boom, smack in the face with peat. But it's really good. Rating wise, this is like a 92 or something like that. It's just really nice Scotch whiskey. So, or Islay whiskey. So guys, hope you enjoyed this whiskey review and another Alco review, and definitely let me know what you think of Laphroaig 10. Is this also your first Islay whiskey? I'd love to hear what your first one was, because this one as a first one is definitely something that kind of could scare you away, but it's still really nice stuff, and also fairly affordable compared to a lot of other Islay whiskeys. So I also have another spirit to review, which I got in for my birthday, which is a rum, a 10-year-old age rum from the Philippines. So stay tuned for that review, guys. And yeah, as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. And I want to say cheers in some delicious Scotch Islay whiskey, and see you guys in another Alco review.